Hello, student. In my last video, Federalism Part 1, I covered Introduction to Federalism, second point, meaning of federalism, third point, key features of federalism, the fourth point, types of federalism, and the last point was what makes India a federal country. Students, today, with the recapitulation of the last point I covered in my previous video, what makes India a federal country, we will go ahead to the next point. So once again, let me make it clear. What are the grounds? What are the points through which we can prove here that the India is a federal country? Children, I already clearly explained very elaborately in my previous video about these 6 important features through which we can prove India is, of course, a federal country. Then let's revise those points here. Point number 1 is Indian Union is based on the principle of federalism. Means the structure of Indian Union itself, it is based on the principle of federalism. Point number 2, Constitution originally provided for 2 tiers of government. Means, in other words, Indian Constitution has given the provision for the dual governments. I mean to say 2 types of government. Then as per one of the important key feature of federalism, that 2 or more than 2 levels of government. Then of course this point is also supports here that India is a federal country. Then point number 3 is the court has the power to interpret the constitution. Then India also has entrusted that the interpretation of the constitution by a court itself. Then point number 4 is central government is more powerful. Then as per the federation category, that holding together federalism, there is one important point I think you could remember. I discussed with you in this category of federalism holding together, the central government seems to be more powerful or tends to be more powerful than the state government. Then of course this point here also, as I said, in India the central government is more powerful, then it also promotes to the federalism. Then the point number 5 is state government cannot, or the central government, let me repeat it in again, the central government either or the state government alone on their own cannot change the fundamentals of the constitution. Children, in other words, what does it mean? This point implies. Let me tell you, either the state government or the central government alone on their own, they cannot make any fundamental or major changes of the constitution. This is what the meaning of this point. Then the next point is state government have unequal powers. means in India all the states are not similar powerful, or they are not equal powerful. Some of the states in our country were given special status, like Jammu Kashmir, which is recently, few days before, one of the article, you may be aware this, has been deleted from the constitution, and now the Jammu Kashmir is made as equal as the other states. Even in spite of that, in northeastern states there are some states they had got a special status, means in other words all the states are not equal powerful. So all these points, they indicates that of course India is a federal country. Now today's point to be covered is how is federalism practiced in India. Children, in order to respect for diversity and desire for living together has become a shared ideal in our country, and to respect such kind of the spirit of Indian society in our country, we have adopted certain specific principles to implement the federalism in our country. Then what are those steps are there or measures we have taken? Point number 1, linguistic states. Point number 2, language policy. Point number 3, center state relations. Then students, let us come to know one by one in detail. First point, linguistic states. The creation of linguistic state was the first and measure for a democratic politics in our country. Many old states have been vanished and many new states have been created. Areas, boundaries and names of the states have been changed. In 1947, the boundaries of several old states of India were changed in order to create new states. This was done to ensure that people who spoke the same language lived in the same states. Children, do you know, under this policy, the experiences has shown that the formation of linguistic state has actually made the country more united. It has also made the administration easy. Children, in the beginning, it was believed that may such type of the division of states on the basis of language lead to the disintegration of our country or defection of our country. But subsequently, this policy has worked quite well, and instead of the apprehensions which the leaders of our country had in their mind, it was turned quite vice versa, and instead of disintegration, it rather made integration of our country. Then we move to the next point, how the federalism is practiced in our country. The second point is also supports this idea. This is language policy. Students, a second test for the Indian Federation is the language policy. Our constitution did not give the status of national language to any language. Then Hindi was identified as the official language in the initially, but Hindi is the mother tongue of only about 40% of the people in our country. Therefore, there were many safeguards to protect other languages besides Hindi were made, and around 21 other languages are recognized as the scheduled languages by the constitution. What does it mean? Other than Hindi, though it is not given the national status or the national language of our country, so apart from Hindi, constitutionally it has been recognized other than Hindi 21 other Indian languages considered as the scheduled languages. Under this provision, the candidates who are going to appear the examinations which are conducted by the central government, they can opt for any languages out of these 21. Means here, students, we can understand a freedom of language is given in our country. According to the constitution, the use of English for official language or official correspondence was to stop in 1965. However, many non-Hindi speaking states demanded that the use of English should continue even after 1965. In Tamil Nadu, this movement took a violent form. The central government responded by agreeing to continue the use of English along with the Hindi for official purposes. Children, there was little controversy regarding using as an official language whenever a states make a correspondence with the central government. It was thought that Hindi would be better, and through the Hindi all states governments can have a correspondence with the central government. But over this issue there was a controversy, and those non-Hindi states, they deny this suggestion, and ultimately the central government or the constitution made the provision that Hindi as well as English, both languages can be used to make a correspondence with the or an official correspondence with the central government, and thus this issue resolved. The third point, students, today's, that is center-state relations. What is the correlation of center-state relations with the practice of federalism in our country? Means, is there one or other way this center-state relations can hamper the implementation of federalism in our country? So let's come to know how it works. Restructuring the center-state relation is one more way in which federalism has been strengthened in practice. Children, for a long time, the same party ruled both at the center and in most of the states. Students, if you check the history, if you go back into history around 50 years, 60 years there, then you would notice that for a long time, for 3 to 4 decades, the single party, that was a Congress party, which ruled both in center and state. Therefore, there was no as such issue of center state relationship, but subsequently, along with the change, a couple of period, the changes started to come in the politics. Then this means that the state government did not exercise their rights as a autonomous over the federal units. As and when the ruling party at the central level was different, the parties that ruled at the center, they tried to undermine the power of states. What does it shows? As and when it was found that there was two different parties ruled at center and states, then the problem comes. Under such situation, the central government tends to undermine the state governments. I mean to say, in other words, when two different parties in power at center and state, this kind of a situation leads that the relation between the state and center will not be the amicable one or a friendly one. Then under such circumstances, naturally a central government tends to undermine the state government, means try to suppress the state government in terms of cooperations, isn't it? Okay, let us move ahead. Then such type of the situation at a certain point of time came to an end. All this changed significantly after 1990. Students, after 1990, what kind of a radical changes came in the Indian politics that we are going through now? This period saw the rise of regional political parties in many states of the country. This was also the beginning of the era of coalition government at the center. It means, let me tell you in other words, after 1990, that slowly many regional political parties began to rise as a state political parties, and these state political parties further become more strong in the states. Even they could able to fight against the central political parties. Then this kind of a situation led that during the election, however, the central political parties for a long time in the history, they had been remained the strongest in our nation. But here onwards, the same political parties you could see couldn't face the state political parties. Therefore, in a central government or at the elections conducted to form a government at the center, then no single party could able to secure the complete majority. Neither Congress party nor BJP or any other XYZ parties which were the central political parties, none of them could able to secure a clear majority so that they could able to form a single political party's government at the center. Then this situation led to the formation of coalition government. Students, do you know what is meant by coalition government? This is nothing but the government which is formed with the support of two or more than two political parties is known as coalition government. Then during the period of the Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, he made a record of formation a government at the center with the support of 16 political parties. Then there onwards, it has paved the way in the politics of India, the formation of coalition government for a long time, around 10 to 15 years. Then again, this kind of a situation, or the circumstances, the center state relationship, that automatically came to an end. They supported a Supreme Court in our country, also supported and gave a judgment by it, that it is made difficult for the central government to dismiss that the state governments in an arbitrary manner. After a state that stays, from where onwards a coalition government began to form, then the problem which was there earlier, the undermining the state governments by a central government, that problem automatically came to an end, because a coalition government which is formed by so many political parties, then definitely out of them one or other party definitely will have its power in the state governments. So this is how the federalism practice in India. This is enough for today's session. The remaining points of the lesson will be covered in the next video.